Greetings and welcome to the second video, additional video for Practicum 2 meant to support your course papers. Our second one here is dedicated to plagiarism, academic dishonesty, and the use of SafeAssign in the course. And while I really wish it was not necessary to devote a video to this topic, I do think the responsible thing to do is to heighten awareness of this topic. And at this point, I'm very glad that the rate at which I encounter instances of these, it's almost nothing. It's very, very rare, which I would hope is typical for a program with numbers this size. But I do want to emphasize that incidents of academic dishonesty, I truly believe can be avoided every time. And so I'm going to offer the following guiding questions and insight from our course syllabus, where it's drawn from. And I ultimately want to make sure that you understand that as your professor, I'm here for you, here to help you do your best work, be the best graduate student that you can be. And that is, after all, what I hope you will look back on once you're once you've completed the program. So, what is plagiarism? Well, in a pinch, we might call it copying or perhaps cheating on academic work, but in reality, it's a far more complex thing. I think it's better to use the term plagiarism or academic dishonesty, which is something that includes, but is not limited to, and to quote our course syllabus, situations such as intentional lack of or distortion of APA citations of resources, unattributed uncited quotations from resources, claiming an academic resource as one's own work, significant reference to and over-reliance upon other coursework by the candidate, or the candidate's colleagues, friends, etc., who may or may not be current students in the class, direct copy and paste from previous coursework by the candidate, or the access and utilization of academic work produced by other individuals from other print or online sources. That's not necessarily the limit of it all, but those are some examples that might apply. So why does it matter? Well, obviously, as a literacy specialist, I want your integrity and your character and your academic productivity to be above reproach. I think that's extremely important. I want everything you produce as a graduate student to be your own original work, which you produce at the top of your game. Or on the flip side, I don't want program candidates moving into a literacy specialist or a literacy coaching position, or even continuing in a classroom for that matter, to think that plagiarism is okay. Furthermore, every time that instances of academic dishonesty happen, they diminish the overall quality of the academic program from which you graduate. It diminishes the prestige of the degree that you earn and that your classmate colleagues earn, if the sort of thing's allowed to happen. And so I've heard it said regarding classroom management that you deserve what you tolerate. Well, I don't exactly know if that's entirely true in this context, but the way I look at it, if I, as a professor, tolerate flagrant plagiarism or academic dishonesty, then I deserve to be a professor in a program of diminished rigor. So that kind of gets me thinking, right? But so how might it be spotted, right? What'll happen? Well, from our course syllabus, program candidates are required to submit all course papers to the SafeAssign global database, which you'll be notified of on Blackboard when you submit papers, which will alert the professor to potential plagiarism and will provide the professor with a direct link to the original work or pieces of various original works. Every effort will be made to contact a candidate and hear the candidate's side of the issue in a potential situation of plagiarism or of academic dishonesty. And first, I might add. However, candidates are very strongly advised to consider the accuracy of the SafeAssign service, the evidence that it provides the professor, and the resulting consequences that can result from plagiarism or academic dishonesty. Furthermore, from the course syllabus, plagiarism is a very serious academic offense, and candidates are advised that plagiarism and any other incidents of academic dishonesty can negatively impact a course grade, most likely resulting in a grade of 0 on the assignment in question, perhaps resulting in a failing grade for the semester, or perhaps even dismissal from the degree program. So, candidates really should keep in mind how accurate SafeAssign is. When you submit your paper, through Blackboard, this adds your paper to the secure database, which automatically compares your paper to other available online sources as well as other papers submitted through Blackboard. I very commonly see SafeAssign numbers in the 10%, the 20%, sometimes a little bit higher for my courses, especially considering that my own talking points, which you've seen already, right, often guide candidates in their readings, and there's a lot of common passages from our course texts and articles that get cited in papers, probably because my talking points. When an old paper or an extensive copy-paste job from another paper is handed in, that SafeAssign will notify us it's a much higher rating and it sticks out very clearly. Faculty and academic assistants will notice it. So let's flip this to the positive side of things. What's the ideal outcome? Well, also in the course syllabus, consider a lack of plagiarism or academic integrity would be considered completely original work, properly attributed and cited in APA style, produced entirely by the program candidate for the particular course and assignment in question. This is further considered evidence of a candidate's professional disposition. This is what we seek in a graduate program, right, of a graduate student. I want you to look back on this degree with pride in the rigor, the accomplishment, the licensure endorsement, which you hopefully get, and the personal growth that you earned, right? So to conclude with the course syllabus, this final note on this, which I think is very important. Candidates in a difficult personal situation should reach out to the professor for assistance every time before they turn to plagiarism or academic dishonesty. Because if you reach out ahead of time with your concerns, with your struggles, before you turn to a decision like this, I guarantee you it'll work out better in the long run, right? If you ever feel you're in a situation where you're tempted to engage in plagiarism or other instances of academic dishonesty, I believe it's likely that there's something else beneath the surface, some type of extenuating personal circumstances, which, if documented, we could potentially make an exception as per the course syllabus. And so if this is the case, I hope that you will reach out through that A-State email address every time. At the end of this video, or at the end of the talking points on the Blackboard, under the readings, under the Blackboard lesson, you'll notice a mark reviewed element at the bottom of these talking points of this video. I would ask you to take a moment to click that mark reviewed in the Blackboard module with these talking points as your own personal documentation that you have viewed and listened to this video and taken the thinking to heart. Blackboard, like any time where you click a mark reviewed item like that, it'll document the date, time that you've done so, and we'll consider that your act of signing on the dotted line that you acknowledge the content of this video. I appreciate you taking the time to consider the content of this video, but more so to make it a part of your disposition as an MSc reading candidate because of how important that is, and please don't hesitate to reach out at any time with any follow-up questions about this. We'll see you in Module 3.